listen to. You can see like the craft and the effort that was put into it, the years of effort and everything that went into it. So it just makes you have a bit more respect, essentially. And it's like you said, it is a bug. You kind of like find yourself like, even if you don't like what you're doing, or it's like it's stressing you out, you kind of like still have that drive to want to do it. So it's very fulfilling in that sense.
It is, but it's debilitating. Let's just get real. I mean, you wake up in the morning, you're like, I got that idea.
Yeah.
How do I get that down? How do I do this? Or sometimes in the middle of the night, you find yourself waking up, or you don't even go to sleep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
think I had a sleepless night earlier this week.
Yeah, it really, really just takes over you.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh. So tell me about your band.
Oh yeah, it's relatively new, since like the end of last year, but it's a blues and pop band, again centered in Philly.
I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, people? How you doing? Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, listen to this. I have an artist on the show, originally from Nigeria, but now he's in the States. Got used to everything because we're kind of cuckoo over here, all right? I'm just going to say, all right? And then he's putting out his music. So I am just so excited for Sam. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being on the show. Okay, so give us a little bit more background. How did you get into the music industry? Was it before you came from Nigeria or after you came from Nigeria?
Oh, it was way after. It was going to in 2018. I'm not sure what it was. It was I had done music like on and off and things like that, but I just suddenly was listening to, I think, a Metro Boomin song, and I was just like, that sounds like something I could try and recreate. And then I kind of just went into this rabbit hole of like production, beat making, things like that. And then fast forward a couple of years later, I'm knee deep in all of it. So
it is addictive. It
yeah,
definitely is. You got bit by the bug. I'm so sorry, bro.
Oh,
It is not easy being a musician. What is it like for you now that you know that you got to do music? You have to, because it's a part of you now. Once you're in it, you're in it. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
You're in it one kind of way or the other, but you're in it. Now that you're in it and you're doing it, what is your idea of the music industry in comparison to before you did it?
Oh, so I definitely have way more respect for like all the musicians you hear on in all video, vinyl, wherever you listen. And it's like, it's easy when you're not doing it to kind of say like, oh, that sounds easy, or like, oh, why is he doing this, things like that. And even when you are still a musician, it's easy to critique others, but kind of like going into the actual styles or genres that your favorite musicians listen to, you can see like the craft and the effort that was put into it, the years of effort and everything that went into it. So it just makes you have a bit more respect, essentially. And it's like you said, it is a bug. You kind of like find yourself like, even if you don't like what you're doing, or it's like it's stressing you out, you kind of like still have that drive to want to do it. So it's very fulfilling in that sense.
It is, but it's debilitating. Let's just get real. I mean, you wake up in the morning, you're like, I got that idea.
Yeah.
How do I get that down? How do I do this? Or sometimes in the middle of the night, you find yourself waking up, or you don't even go to sleep.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
think I had a sleepless night earlier this week.
Yeah, it really, really just takes over you.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh. So tell me about your band.
Oh yeah, it's relatively new, since like the end of last year, but it's a blues and pop band, again centered in Philly. And yeah, we just started, but I think we have pretty good chemistry. Obviously, I would say that, but I really like the people in it, and we're still like practicing and growing. But yeah, we're hoping to start playing some more in Philly and like New York and like the surrounding area.
That's nice. That's nice. So, okay, so you say you've taken your band and you guys are doing two different genres. Am I correct?
It's kind of, yeah, two different genres, but it's like we're kind of trying to blend it. Oh yeah, it's the Muddy Wolf Band is the name, and so we're just trying to like blend it, like blues and like a more like with like some modern takes on it, that kind of vibe. Yeah.
What does it take for you guys to write a song, or do you guys do covers and then are you now, doing originals?
Yeah. Uh, well, it's mainly started as like a back-end band for the songs that I've been writing and releasing to perform them. So it's kind of like half cover, half original, because it's like we're learning covers of other people's songs and performing those, but we're also like relearning the songs that I wrote and like diving more into it and things like that. And I've also done covers, so it's kind of all interwoven in that. But I think we also, as a band, I think we at some points we'll look into writing instrumental. I mean, not instrumental originals for us. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now, it's so different when you have a band than when you're just singing with like tracks. Have
Yeah.
you done both?
Yeah. I've done a most of the thing I do in private, obviously it's with the track, but like in terms of public, I've done a couple, and yeah, the reason why I prefer a band for like live settings is, well, obviously with the track, you know what you're going to get because it's stable that way, and that could work. But sometimes you want the freedom to kind of like, if you want to extend the parts, or if like the crowd's feeling that you want to slow it down and bring it back up, all that, as well as just the stage just looks more full when there's more people on it. So whether it's I'll always prefer, they're great solo performers, but for me, I feel more comfortable with like a band back end to kind of just add more energy and liveliness.
Yeah, yeah, I think I agree with you. I definitely have done both, and I like the bands too. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, with all of this said, there is a goal in mind. What is your goal for your band, for your music?
Uh, my personally, I want to be a very popular and just thriving songwriter. 'Cause that's what my true thing is. It's like I'm not really interested in like good as guitarist or producer, things like that. I prefer like the overall song to be like a well respected and just uh good songwriter. And so it's kind of then also building off that. I want to just be able to play around the world and just kind of like have my music play in different avenues, whether it's films, TV, on stage, things like that, and bring the band along and just kind of keep performing the music live and just bringing more genre bending kind of fun sounds to the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. It is different to be in the music industry, but the biggest thing is, what have you learned so far being in the music industry, being a band now, and
Mhm.
going for your dreams? What have you learned that you didn't know before that you definitely know now?
I'd say just how much, like, if you're looking to kind of really make it big and kind of like make it something, how much of a business you also have to treat it as. I know it's a cliche thing you always see, but kind of you'll hear it like it's be like a business, kind of like, oh, make sure you have an agreement, make sure you're on time and things like that. And those are important and just generally. But if you also want to go even further, like be more legitimate respected, there's also things like uh well, for a band, if you're going to be paid, you're going to be like, there's taxes involved with that. If you want to be like protection of liability, business insurance, things like that. So like proper company, corporation kind of things to take if you really want to make it serious and be uh, profitable, essentially. Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's talk about your latest song that you got. Tell me about that.
Uh, well, the latest one, I released it in November of last year, 2022, and it's just like it's a little two-song set, and it's kind of again in this genre bending space I've been in recently with like blues and hip hop and pop, and kind of just exploring that a bit. And I also wanted to try and write like a story a storytelling track, so that was what the second one was. It's kind of more of an experimental kind of
Nice.
intuition.
How do you write your lyrics? I mean, do they mean anything, or are you just looking to have something that uplifts people and it really doesn't matter as long as it's uplifting?
A bit of both. I have a I like both music and lyrics, but I think I have a habit of kind of preferring and like spending more time on the music and kind of like writing the lyrics in a hurry. So it'll still mean something, and it'll still be something that like I want people to be able to sing and like inspire them. But it'll also like I'll look back at it later on and it'll feel contrived or something like that. So it's I definitely want to spend more time on lyric writing and just the words and the story behind it.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear. Now, what kind of advice do you give to those people coming up after you? You know, it's like these kids are coming up and they're going to run into a wall, but where is the wall? Can you give them something that they should be looking out for?
I would say there's that feeling you get where it's kind of it's very common in like music memes and like humor and things like that, like switching between thinking you're the greatest musician on earth and then just soul crushing depression or something like that. So I'd say kind of, especially if you're like trying to be like popular music or like get played or things like that, you, there's a natural anxiety that comes with it, and it's really you'll get the like sense that you want to make something that was appealing to people, especially if you're trying to get like played on TikTok or things like that. And I'd say the best thing is focus on what you yourself think sound good. Again, it's a cliche saying, but just focus on what you would listen to, like what you would actually play or some stuff like that. And that will eventually find its own people. Obviously, you'll do your marketing or whatever, but the music itself will find its people, is what I think.
Wow. Well, thank you so very much for being on the show. Is there anything that we missed today that you'd like to tell the people or that, you know, you would like to say?
Sure. I'm planning on releasing a new single. It's leading up to a new album that will be releasing end of March, early April, but the first single will be out in February 24th, so in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
My gosh. Well, congratulations. And where can people find you?
Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. My website has the full links of stuff. Can I link it here?
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead and say it out loud.
Sure, it's emperorsamace.com. So Emperor Sam, then ace.com. And my artist name is Emperor Sam. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to put that in the description box below so people can get that easy.
Thank
Okay.
you very much. Thank you for
Man, I
having me.
tell you, it was such a pleasure to have you on the show. I appreciate it. And congratulations on all the success. Keep that music coming.
Thank you very much. I definitely will.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different, but most of all, don't forget to go in the description box below and go and visit that site. You just never know. You just might love this music. I mean, you know, who doesn't? I mean, if you don't like this kind of music, then I don't know. I don't know. I'm just, yeah, I don't know about you. I'm just gonna say. All right, guys, until next time. Bye.